guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to check out another of these Captivz supersized figures from Jurassic World Dominion. This is the second figure from Wave 2 of the supersized Captivz, again, stuff we never got here in the United States. This is the Spinosaurus. This was actually released prior to the Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary Spinosaurus. That was the first time I had the opportunity to grab one of these supersized Spinos here in the United States, was from the Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary line. But there was this Spinosaurus that actually came before it, which was for Jurassic World Dominion, even though we never saw a Spino in that film. But it was definitely cool that this was released prior. I actually don't even think I found out about it until probably the supersized JP 30th Anniversary figures had come out. So I was really excited to grab a hold of this one, get a hold of it, thanks to my good friend Jurassic KM, who hooked me up with this, as well as the other two figures in this wave, one of which was the Carnotaurus, which we've already reviewed here on the channel. We now have the Spinosaurus, which is basically the same figure that we got in the JP 30th Anniversary, but with different paint. So let's jump to a closer look at it, and we'll check out how different it is from the newer version. So as we can see here, there's not a whole lot going on as far as color goes on this Spinosaurus, and I would say that there's not even remotely the amount of color that we had seen on the Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary version that we've already reviewed here on the channel. So if we actually bring that version up here, you can now see when we put the two together, they look very cool. They definitely have the same sculpt going on here, but you can clearly see there was a lot more color added to the JP 30th Anniversary version, and I feel like the color was more precise and careful as far as the placement goes. They very clearly replicated the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 here, although they gave it more brownish tones rather than gray. I would have preferred grayish tones, maybe something they could do for a re-release in the future. But it just looked really, really cool, whereas this version, the original version apparently, because it came before the JP 30th Anniversary, has a lot less color to it. One other thing I noticed here, if you look, it looks like the tail of the JP 30th Anniversary version might be slightly longer. It's hard to really tell, though. Yeah, definitely see if you put the two together, definitely looks like the tail of the newer one is a little bit longer, so that's interesting to take note of. So there is a slight difference when it comes to the sculpt. But you can see, again, the figure is the same sculpt outside of that, the same detail and everything. But what we do have going on as far as the coloration of this one goes is a lot of varying tones of browns. As you can see, lighter and darker shades of browns, as well as a really dark wash. And that's almost the majority of the color of this, because there's not a whole lot else going on, except for as you move up into the sail, you can see some reddish tones, and it seems like the tips of the sail here as you move through have been darkened with maybe a very dark gray or a very dark brown. So there is a little color variation there. And then as you can see, when we transition down to the lower part of the sail, we do get back to that kind of lighter brown that we have for the majority of the color of the Spinosaurus. You can also see there's an area of red here in the neck and throat region. I feel like that's kind of out of place and a little bit random. Not necessarily my favorite thing here on the figure as far as the paint scheme goes. We don't have any painted nails. I still find it so strange that we almost have like raptor feet for the Spinosaurus, which is weird. I don't understand why, but at the same time it looks like we have webbing between the toes, which I don't know that I've ever noticed that before, which is also actually kind of cool. But you can see as we look at this side again, there's not really any huge color difference. One thing though that we have going on, you can see we've got a green eye with a black pupil. That does look pretty nice. The teeth are also painted fairly nicely. I don't really see any sloppiness as far as they go. And you can see a very nice realistic tone of color for the inside of the mouth, as well as that really nicely sculpted tongue. It's also painted again with that nice pinkish tone. And that's really it. Like, there is just nothing else going on. There's not a whole lot of patterning or anything like that going on with the Jurassic World Dominion version of the Spinosaurus compared to what we see with the JP 30th Anniversary. The 30th Anniversary version definitely had a lot more going on as far as coloration goes. I still think this looks really cool, and also makes a nice companion piece to the JP 30th Anniversary version, because it almost has like a female sort of Spinosaurus look, whereas the JP 30th Anniversary version maybe is a male, and that kind of looks like, you know, why we have just less flashiness to this one. But still really cool. Definitely psyched to have this version, because it's definitely the harder version to find, but I feel like the superior version would definitely be the 30th Anniversary version. And then for a look at it next to the JP 30th Anniversary standing there, you can see again, they look exactly the same, but you can now see kind of what I was talking about, where it looks like maybe a male and a female. And they do look really cool next to each other, so they're very nice companion pieces, that's for sure. We don't need to do sizes, comparisons, anything like that, because we've already done that for the JP 30th anniversary version of the Spinosaurus. So if you want to see more of that, as well as a more detailed look at the actual sculpt, check out the original review of the JP 30th anniversary edition of the Spinosaurus. So this Jurassic World Dominion Wave 2 supersized Captivz Spinosaurus is pretty cool. You know, it's definitely my least favorite of this wave because we have the Carnotaurus, which I love, of course, and then there's also a Velociraptor Blue, and the Spinosaurus ended up being the least interesting of this wave, but at the same time, had I actually known about this back then, I probably would have been just as excited about the Spinosaurus as I am for the Carno and Velociraptor Blue, because when this was released, we didn't already have a supersized Spinosaurus, so that would have been really exciting. Regardless, though, the Spinosaurus that we did get for the Jurassic World Dominion line is pretty cool looking. There's some nice variation of color applied to it, as you have quite a few different tones of lighter and darker browns. You've got some nice reddish tones in the sail and everything, and the paintwork, you know, looks pretty good for what it is. Looks pretty similar to what we had seen on the smaller version of the Spinosaurus. I don't remember if that was in the Dominion line, but I remember there was a Spino that they had released in the standard size that was very similar to this as far as the coloration goes. So it does look very similar to that one, and again, it looks really cool as a whole. And like I said, I really would have been psyched about this had I found out about this when it first released, because a supersized version of the Spinosaurus is definitely really cool. And now even having it here next to the JP 30th anniversary version, I am still really quite excited about this, because it looks like it could potentially be part of the same group of Spinos. Like, they both share a green eye and stuff, and very similar, obviously, when it comes to their appearance, as they are the same sculpt, but they also have variations of browns which are very similar to each other, and that of course gives this the appearance of, in my opinion, almost being a female. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense for there to be a Spinosaurus in the Dominion line, though, because there were no actual Spinos in Jurassic World Dominion. Unfortunately, I really would have loved to have seen it, but even if the dinosaur didn't appear in the film, it's still cool that we did get a supersized version. It just would have made more sense to have a dinosaur that was actually in Jurassic World Dominion get the supersized treatment, like we had for like the Giganotosaurus, we had the Pyroraptor, the T-Rex, and stuff like that. But still, it's a pretty decent figure and quite fun as a whole. So if you are interested, again, it's going to be a little tough to find. I would recommend maybe trying to contact somebody in Canada, or maybe searching on eBay. Maybe one will pop up there. I'm not too sure. If you do find a way to get a hold of it, you know, it's definitely a fun purchase and is a pretty cool companion piece to the newer version of the Spinosaurus. So if you can grab it, make sure you do. And also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.